please. Heather, if you let me know when you're ready.
Ready when you are, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, good evening, councillors, and welcome to this meeting of the Planning Committee. I don't think do we have any members of the public present?
No, we don't have many.
No, we'll go straight then into the agenda. Obviously, we don't have any apologies because we're all here.
Yep, that's correct.
So do we have any declarations of interest? Yes, Matt?
Hi, Rosemary. I need to declare a personal non-pecuniary interest in item 5 2020 1668 as I know the applicant.
Okay.
Thank you.
If somebody could remind me when we get to it. Right, moving on then to the minutes of the meeting held on the 14th of July 2020. For those of you who were there, councillors, are you happy that I signed those minutes as a true record?
Yep, unanimous.
Yep, thank you. Moving on, do we have any public questions?
None received, Chairman.
No received. Have we received any letters of objection? I haven't seen any.
Oh, none received.
None received. Oh, well, that's very straightforward in that case. We'll go straight to the applications for the week ending. Oh, actually, I'll just bear with me. I'll just move on to agenda item 6, which is, no, it's not. That is the minute still, isn't it? The attachments.
Item 6 is the applications.
It is, yes. I've turned over one too many pages. Item 6. So it's for the applications registered the week ending the 31st of July, week ending the 7th of August, and week ending the 14th of August. Item 520-1585 does not meet requirements for consideration by the committee. And the same for 5-2020-160. So then moving on to 5-2020-1486 at 32 Prospect Lane.
Right, okay, so this application is for a dwelling that is set on a large plot of land at the end of a road in an area that's got a variation in property design. Thank you, Hev. We've got a picture here. This is the only picture that I could actually get of it because it was actually at the end of a cul-de-sac. As you can see, I think actually there's two scenes, yeah. So where the yellow arrow is, that is the area that they are going to be doing the first floor front extension. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be building over the first floor side extension, and they're going to be building on that footprint and putting the first floor story on that, so it's not going to actually impose on the property next to it. There's plenty of ground there. They're going to be putting a hipped roof on there, which in my view will actually sort of balance out the roof line on the main property. It's set away from neighbouring properties, as you can see. I don't think there'll be any detrimental impact regarding loss of amenity. The first floor front extension is for the enlargement of an existing bedroom and for the inclusion of an ensuite. So there are no proposed changes to parking arrangements, which are going to be remaining at 3 parking spaces and a double garage. Any side windows are going to be obscurely glazed, and there's going to be no impact on trees or hedges due to this application. So I suggested no objection.
Okay, thank you. Councillors, does anybody want to make any comments? No? Well, in that case, are we all minded then to vote no objection?
Thank you.
Unanimous, thank you. Moving on to 1335 at 25 Leighton Road.
Right. Now, this one, you will all know where this property is because it's right on the side of Rothamsted Park.
Yes.
So what they intend to do here is to actually extend over the garage area, and they're going to be actually setting the first floor extension back from the front of the garage. They are going to, where's my notes? This property actually, while I'm here, is a locally listed building. As you know, it's a conservation area. The boundary of the property is set at the edge of Rothamsted Park, and I think there's another view, Hev, if you go down one more, and you can see where the boundary is. So there's a brick wall along the side there, and there's just a couple of trees, but I don't think that the property is actually going to affect those trees in any way at all. The proposal shows a hipped roof line, which is, as I said, is going to be sited above the existing garage and set back. The application states that the extension will incorporate an additional bedroom and ensuite. On-site parking shows that the double garage is to be retained and utilised for parking, and there is sufficient parking for additional 3 vehicles at the front. It doesn't appear that there will be anything affected by the first floor extension. I had no objection to it, provided that materials and so on were okay within the listed building and conservation area status.
Okay, any comments, anyone? No, it looks fine to me. In that case, I'll be all minded to say no objection. Unanimous, thank you.
Yeah.
Then moving on to 1524 43 Park Avenue North.
Right. Now this one. Right, there was one letter of concern from a gentleman who lives next door at number 45. Now, the actual application is following granting of planning permission on the property, which is actually set in the conservation area, and the proposal is for amendments to be made to that permission. The amendments consist of removal of the proposed basement, the garage, which was originally going to be sited on one side of the property, they're now suggesting to be resited adjacent to number 45 Park Avenue. A first floor balcony is now going to be replaced with a Juliet balcony. And the proposed amendment is also showing that although the ridge height will be remaining the same, the 2-storey part of the house is to be narrowed slightly and set in from the common boundary by 2 metres rather than previously 1 metre. So they are actually reducing the width of the property. The 2-storey depth of the dwelling, however, has been increased adjacent to 45 Park Avenue North. But I didn't feel that that was necessarily a problem, because as the width had been drawn in, it made the 45-degree rule less of an impact as well. So it didn't really seem to affect the property in any way. The vehicle access has been relocated due to the positioning of the garage, so the cars can pull in better and veer around to the garage. Parking remains the same as previously permitted, and there's no impact on trees. I suggested no objection. The letter that came in from the gentleman from number 45 said that he had concerns regarding the house going back too far. He felt it was visually imposing and causing problems with him selling his house because of the plan.
Can we just have a look at the
Mim hasn't provided any
Oh, there's a
I
drawing.
hadn't done drawings because I didn't feel it was much of an issue, but if I can just...
Do you want me to? I can try and locate it. You just want to...
Councillors, do you want to have a look at the... Would you like to have a look? Yes.
Did you want to see the... I can try and search on the internet for the location.
Yes, if you could.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, Hev.
Yeah, that's fine. What number Park Avenue did you say it was? 45?
43.
43.
43.
Park Avenue North.
Yeah.
Yeah, Park Avenue North.
Yeah.
That's AL5 2EE.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well
The only thing with Park Avenue North is that they're not always overly clear because of their setback as to which number is 43.
Yeah.
Right, hang on a moment, what's that one there? Right, oh, here we go, that's lucky. I landed just on it, so bear me a second. Okay, so I'll do my best to try and show you. So it's this house here.
Yeah.
That's number 43. So unfortunately, there is quite a deep edge at the front, so it's quite tricky for me to be able to sort of show you, really.
Yeah, it's not really visible.
Do you want me to try and do it from above?
Yeah, if you could try and do it from above, that would give us more idea, I think.
Right, so I believe that it's this house here.
And which is the house that's objecting?
I believe it's the one on the right of it.
Yes, that one.
Yeah,
Well, it's quite a long way away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I interrupt? Is there a site plan? Because I think I looked at this previously. I think there's a site plan, isn't there, showing the how far back the building goes?
Yeah, so I can show you, hopefully, I can show you.
So that's it.
So that is showing that that shows the original permission, and also I think you might be able to see in green pen where I've sort of drawn on it the new proposal. So they've pulled it in and pulled a little bit out along the back as well, down that side. Has everybody seen that?
Yeah, but it does go pretty far back in relation to the property on the right.
Yeah. So this. Yeah. So this is the new drawing now, but it's pulled in further than it was originally. But yeah. Okay.
Mim, can I just ask? I can't quite tell from the drawing. Is it further back on the new proposal than on the approved version?
So
I think so.
it is for higher up on the. So this one originally, where you can see these lights here. This is the permitted one. So that's the one that's got permission.
Yes.
And just where these 4 little skylights are, that's where they're going to put a 2-storey extension, but they've pulled it in from the side.
Thanks.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, it's quite a long way back, but it's quite a way. And Paul de Court, that is, just which Paul? Yes. Paul, you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I
just
thank you. It's linked to what Matt asked. It's pulled back further than the first mission, but can you tell me how much in terms of distance? Is that a bit?
On the side, it's pulled in another metre.
Yeah, and how much further back is it than the permission that was given before?
Without measuring it, I can't tell you.
Just kind of roughly. Can you just give me a ballpark? Because
I can't tell you without actually measuring it, because it doesn't give any measurements at all as to how far back it went originally.
Okay.
I wouldn't like to guess, to be honest.
I mean, just my thought was, obviously, if we had that information, that it was permitted previously, and if it hasn't gone that far back and it's gone a bit in, it's hard really to see why one could have a
Yes,
significant
that's
objection, you know,
that's what I think.
to it,
Yes.
because we shouldn't really be taking it from the initial and saying, well, it goes a long way back in the garden. If that was permitted, we're
If
just
that
going
was
again.
permitted originally, yes.
As long as it's not extended a huge amount further beyond it. So that's
I mean, I think we could get around it by saying no objection, subject to no loss of amenity to adjoining properties.
Yeah.
If people will be happy with that. The people are happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, hearsay.
Yes, we just put that wording in there. That just gives a little hint to officers to look at. Well, they'll look at that anyway. Okay. Then 1639 does not meet criteria for consideration. Similarly for 1652. Then 1539 43 Bloomfield Road.
Right, 43 Bloomfield Road. Right, this one I think we've got pictures on, have we, Heather?
Yeah, just displaying now, just the one.
Right, okay, so this one here, again, this property is set on a fairly large plot with its neighbouring properties all the way at the rear and screening the place along both sides of the boundaries. The proposed two-storey side extension is to be situated next to the proposed single-storey side extension. So it's on the right-hand side of the property at the rear. I'm pulled in from the neighbouring boundary of number 41 Bloomfield, which I believe, yeah, is on the right-hand side. So it's nearer to the property that you can see that's next to it, if you get what I mean. The rear elevations on number 43 are already set back from both numbers 41 and 45. Therefore, there'll be no detrimental impact on either of the neighbouring properties. Parking on the property remains unchanged, as the proposal is for an increase in size to bedroom 1 and the addition of an ensuite. No trees are going to be affected, so I had no objection.
Looks okay to me. Any councillors want to comment? No. We'll just go straight to the vote then. Are we all agreed on no objection? Thank you.
Yep.
1568, which is 43 Falconers Field, does not meet the criteria for our consideration, and similarly for 1620. Then moving on to 1544, which is 20 Pennycroft.
Right, this one, again, there's some pictures for this one. Right, so the proposals detailed in this application are following refusal of application in 2019. They are for the ridge height and the first floor rear projection, both to be reduced by 440 millimetres. By reducing the first floor rear projection, the 45-degree rule appears acceptable to neighbouring properties and offers no detrimental impact. A tree report has now been submitted, which is our concern. We didn't really have any other things to say on the last application, except we were concerned about there was no tree application. A tree appears to show, a report has now been submitted, which was previously submitted and appears to show that no trees are to be affected by the proposal. The proposed amendment also suggests installation of roof solar panels and 2 additional roof lights in the crown roof. Parking proposals are for a double garage and on-site parking for 4 vehicles. The street scene for properties in the area is that of varied designs, and therefore this proposal would not be out of keeping. Taking into context the size of the proposed dwelling and the size of neighbouring property number 18, the application appears to be acceptable. So basically, although it takes up quite a large size of the property, of the actual site. They're leaving the gaps down the side.
Yes.
I think it's well set on the property. It's not affecting trees, which was our main concern. I didn't have a problem with it personally, but it's down to councillors.
Yes. Councillors, any comments? No. Well, could I suggest that if we're going for no objection, but perhaps just add the usual wording of no objection subject to all previous reasons for refusal having been met.
Is that a
Looks like it's unanimous. Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
okay?
1629, which is 11 Cranbourne Drive.
Right, yeah, this one, right, so this application, I've got a picture for this one as well.
Yeah, I'm struggling just to find it at the moment, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah, so this is for a garage conversion and a partial two-storey first floor and single-storey front extensions. So my problem with this one was I was a little bit concerned was because they want to convert the garage. It was just basically parking. Really, it's, yeah, the proposals are basically for, it's set in a road of mixed style dwellings, so I didn't have a problem with that as such. It's set back, as you can see from this picture, from the neighbouring property, so any building work that would need to be done in this, you know, sort of like on top of the property and so on, for the partial two-storey front extension wouldn't be a problem. I think it's just basically the loss of the garage, which reduces the parking provision down to 2 spaces, and I just think it doesn't meet the requirements for parking, and that's my concern. So I've just suggested express concern on the parking. I think anything else regarding the impact on any properties is fine.
So, any comments? So, oh, yes, Nigel.
Well, thanks, Rosa. We all know in any event, using the garage for parking is a bit of an academic issue in this case. So if we do reject it, it's purely on an academic point rather than a point of practicality, I feel.
Mm.
So, Pip.
I was just wondering how many parking spaces are on the site, really, because if it loses the garage, then you are going to lose the number of parking spaces that are on the site, and it is a requirement that there are so many parking spaces, isn't there?
Well, in their application, they've said, will the proposed works affect existing car parking arrangements? And they've said no. But
The actual car parking spaces are they meant to have?
well, I mean, if it's a 3-bedroomed house, then they have to have 2 parking spaces. Let's see, what have I just put in my notes? Well, there's no increase in bedrooms, but there's just the loss of the garage.
Yeah, but won't the drive take the 2 cars?
Pardon?
Isn't the drive big enough to take 2 cars?
Can I have another look at the picture,
Yeah.
please?
So is it that house there?
No, it's the
That
one
one?
the one in the middle. Yeah,
This one.
yeah.
2 spaces.
Yeah, that should be all right. That'll take 2 cars, won't it?
Yeah. Okay, well,
I think that should be okay. I mean, how do you want to go, councillors? Do you want to go with an expressed concern or no objection?
No objection.
No objection. Okay, so no objection.
no objection.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, well, the next one's interesting. 1657 for Grosvenor East Common, which I think's got a fairly lengthy history of planning applications. I would just say I'm interested in your views, councillors, but since it's in the conservation area, I think if we feel that it's an adverse effect on the character and openness of the area, then I think we should be a refuse rather than express concern. But I'll wait to hear what you all have to say.
Right, okay, do you want me to introduce it first?
Yes, please.
Right, okay, so what you're seeing, this picture that Heather's just put up is the original permitted application for the to replace the, well, to build on the existing property at the moment. So they have had permission to extend the property, remove the, well, not remove the garage, but change the garage into some sort of habitable accommodation with a mezzanine floor, etc., etc. So that's what they've got permission to do. And so now what they want to do is to have a garage constructed on the property, but on opposite the house, on the green area, where you can see the border of the shrubs and so on. And the garage is going to be constructed of English oak timber, and it's going to be in the root protection area of 2 or 3 trees. 2 of those trees are outside of their garden area, and there's also this large, I think it's an oak, or, well, this big tree that you can see. And East Common is obviously not their land, but it's, you know, is it our land? I'm presuming it is. Yeah. And so my concern, and I did put originally refusal, but then I didn't know if I was being a bit harsh. But my concern was that it would be a little bit of a blot on the landscape regarding the positioning of it, because it is open around that area, and I just had massive concerns about it. So,
Chair, is it possible, Miriam, for you to put your cursor over where it will be?
Is it there?
No, head to the right.
Yeah.
Over there.
Round about, yeah, just a little bit, yeah, around about that area. So they're going to move a tree, take a tree out, probably that one, and then they are going to replace that one, but they're not going to obviously replace it with 2. But there are sort of to the further right, there are other trees on the other side of the road, that I believe there are 2 more big trees. So it will, yeah.
These 2 here.
Yeah, so there are roots that obviously will need to be protected, that they will have to protect as well. That those roots will travel across the road, I think. They will have to protect.
Yes, I mean, it looks to me like it will fundamentally alter the appearance of that part of East Common. I don't know what other councillors feel, and sort of invite you to comment, but I think on that basis it should be refused. Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with the way the direction that people are going. I'd just like to sort of add the thing that I find it irritating that not so long ago they put forward a plan for extensive changes, got it through us, and SADC have permitted it, and now quite a significant, they suddenly decide they need a garage and a carport. I don't know, they've suddenly just bought a couple of cars that they never had before. But I find that irritating. And it worries me. It's not the irritation that there's an incrementalism here, and let's slip that in. We've got the other thing now. Now let's slip the thing we intended to do before in,
Yes.
and the good reasons we've heard from other people about what it does to the character. I'm not really mindful to think there's anything offsetting that from needs.
I mean, I was going to say, I think I've sat one way or another on planning for long enough to be well used to the fact you get it all the time with what I call mission creep.
Yeah. That's my concern, so I'm with everyone.
Yes. So, does anybody else want to comment, or are we agreed that we will go for refusal on due to the adverse and detrimental effect and character and openness of the conservation area? And I think we might even want to add on to that conservation area and the East Common. And also you can add in the bit about the trees as well.
Yep.
So are we agreed on that? Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right, moving on to 0933, does not meet criteria for consideration. Same applies to 1625, 1635, 1678. Then we have 1690, which is for 15 Browning Road.
Right, okay, so this one, right, so this property is set in a road which has dwellings of various designs again. It has a spacious drive, which can be drive in, drive off, with sufficient parking on it for at least 3 vehicles. The proposal is to replace the existing carport, which, if you can go on to the next picture, oh, you can't see it from this side. I thought I'd got another one. But there is, to the left of the property, there is a carport that goes right up to the boundary, and a garage which is sited right at the back of the property. And they want to basically replace it to have a new integral garage with a utility and storeroom and family room at the back. And also they want to have basically fill in a passageway at the back of the property as well. And they want to put in, build above the garage, but pull it in and put a cat slide type roof so that it's pulled away from the neighbouring property. So that there's no impact at all. There will be an additional window on the side elevation, which is shown to be obscurely glazed to ensure no loss of amenity. And also on the front of the property on the right-hand side, they intend to put in 2 bay windows on the front elevations on first and ground floor. No trees will be affected by this proposal, and parking provision is sufficient. And I couldn't see that there would be any impact on neighbouring properties at all. There were no letters of objection on the website either.
Okay, anybody got any comments? No, in that case, can we all just go to vote to no objection recommendation?
Unanimous?
Thank you.
Yeah, unanimous, yeah.
Thank you.
1379 does not meet criteria for consideration. Similarly, 1394 and oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm going to change my glasses. I can't read the number. 1668.
Right.
Okay, so that's the end of item 6. So moving on to agenda item 7. It's interesting to note that the planning inspectorate has dismissed the appeal in respect of Ayers End Lane. So that's, well, I think we we certainly recommended refusal on. Tree preservation orders really are for, well, tree works and technical applications as well are for noting, unless anybody's seen anything they want to comment on. And then the list of weekly decisions, I don't know the time, again, for noting really. I don't think I didn't note down anything specific there, unless anybody else has noticed anything. So that's just for noting.
Okay.
And then the date of the next meeting is
15th of September.
Oh, I shall just still be here, and then I am attempting to escape on a week's holiday, or 10 days holiday even.
Okay.
So in that case, I declare the meeting closed at, what is it, 8:07, I think.
Yeah. Okay.